We have traveled all over Kenya to find hard-working farmers.
We want to celebrate them while giving them the help they need to improve their farms,
get better yields,
and build profitable businesses.
We will see how farmers from across the region can benefit from our experts' advice,
while also learning from each other in so many ways.
Join us on these journeys and share in the farmers' experiences as they shape up their shambas.
Karibu to the Shamba Shape Up Safari. Welcome
to Shamba Shape Up.
Today we are visiting two brothers.
They love farming and they're making a good living out of it.
Let's see how they have been getting on and whether we can take them to the next level.
Let's go.
This week we are in Embu and we are visiting Kioko and Peter Musyoka. And it's not the first time. We were last here just over 2 years ago.
Let's find out how they have been getting on.
Who is Kioko?
Welcome.
Kioko is here.
Good
to see you guys again. Good. We want to see your Shamba.
Yes.
Show us.
Welcome.
All right, let's go. Wow, the cows are looking good.
Very nice.
And here are the mangoes.
Looks like they're ready for harvest.
So, let's see how we can help. Wow.
Tony.
Yes.
This is how the farm was when you were last here.
Exactly, but it has improved.
It has improved. What can you tell us so far that maybe you need us to help you work on?
The tomatoes, there is some challenges that are surprised now, right now. Yes, I would like you to help me. You shape me up. Yeah.
Right.
I've had challenge with the cows, with the feeding. And when you go to the side of mangoes, I've been wasting a lot.
Yes. We need to pitch our tent and get to work.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay, we'll see you later.
Welcome.
All right, Caro.
Okay.
There you are, Caro.
Tony, hi.
So, are you ready for another hard day's work?
Oh, yes, I am, Tony.
We have an expert on dairy feed.
And an expert on pests in tomatoes.
But first, I'm going to see how we can get big and stronger mangoes.
And I'm going to find out a great way of drying them to make even better profits.
Well, see you later, Caro.
Later.
On the way to my first expert of the day, there was some good news. The soil test results have arrived. It seems magnesium levels are high and sulfur levels are low. A fertilizer like Mavuno planting with an NPK of 10, 26, 10 is recommended. Let us find our farmer and give him the news.
It's harvest time for the mangoes, so I'm taking Peter to meet Charles, an expert from TechnoServe. Charles has some great ideas for getting the maximum number of fruits from the trees while ensuring they remain firm and in good condition for the market.
So roughly how many mango trees do you have?
I have about 30.
How many bags do you harvest?
Initially, we used to harvest around 40, 30-something crates. But now it has gone down, and in many cases we even don't go to sell because right away the market, there is flood in the market, mangoes are too many, and the prices are so low. So it's a challenge that we are thinking on how to beat about it.
I think one of the aspects, Peter, that is coming out on that is because we have this variety where we are studying called Tommy that usually has some challenges when you are selling it. Basically because it comes during the time of plant when you have so much mangoes coming from Machakos, coming from Meru, coming from coast. So it becomes a bit difficult to sell them. But you have this variety that we call Kent. It is good to think how you can be able to put more of the Kent because they are likely to fetch better prices other than the Tommy. Yes.
You talked about some challenges that you've observed. Tell us about that.
It is very important that you have at the base of the tree to be very clean. Like this fruit, if you are to pick it up, you'll be able to see what we are talking about. We call them the mango weevil. And they hide in the debris. So the moment you have the base of the tree being clean, you find the insects cannot be able to multiply because they don't have a good environment for them to multiply themselves.
So, to keep weevils away, make sure the ground around the base of the tree is kept clean and tidy, and remove fallen, rotting mangoes. But are weevils the only pest that attacks mangoes?
There is an insect called fruit fly. We usually find it very common as the fruit matures. And for that insect, we have the method of control. We usually use what we call the fruit fly traps. This is the insecticide. And inside this, we also have what we call a pheromone. So the males think that this is a female so that they can mate. The product here is also laced or has been put some insecticide. So the moment it comes, it is killed and it falls inside this pack.
To activate the pheromone, cut the top of the sealed pack. This starts the pheromone working and also releases the insecticide. Once on the tree, the scent will be spread by the wind. Any male fruit fly nearby will think the pheromone scent is a female fly and will enter the trap. Once inside, the fly is killed by the insecticide. Hang one trap for every 15 trees. It's a good idea to hang the traps all year round, as the fruit flies will also attack other trees such as oranges and avocados. To keep the trap working, replace the pheromone lure every 6 to 8 weeks. And look, after just a few minutes, the fly is already arriving and getting trapped inside. Very, very effective. I'm impressed. Now, let's find out about the best way to harvest mangoes without damaging the fruits.
How have you been doing your harvesting?
Sometimes it has been a challenge. At times you use stones. At times you may use a stick.
Or you even climb the tree.
Even climb the tree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that. Sometimes they just fall.
Sometimes they just fall.
Yeah.
It's a challenge because sometimes you're in a hurry.
So that is why we have come up with some equipment that can help you in harvesting. So this is one of the equipment I'm talking about. What happens is that if you look at this, Peter, you see there is a sort of a wedge here.
Okay.
What you do is when you put the fruit here, the wedge cuts it. Okay. And when it cuts it, it falls here. Right. Then you can be able to get it and put it where you want it to put. So this is one of the equipments we have. Right. Then we also have another one that looks like this. It is basically doing the same, but as you can see, this one holds less number of fruits because sometimes there are some fruits that might also be very far. Some people also may not have energy to have 10 or so fruits in the previous one. So what we do is you can get 3 fruits, 4 fruits. Maybe you are selecting some key mangoes you want to have. So these two equipments are just to help the farmers at least to be able to harvest the way they should be harvested so that they don't lose their produce. Nice. Yes.
Once the mangoes are harvested, it's important they stay in good condition all the way to the market. So Charles recommends using these plastic crates. Wow! So now, what do we do with all these mangoes? Well, Tony is taking Peter and his brother Kioko to see how they can turn mango farming into a profitable business.
That's right, Caro. I'm taking the brothers to meet Ferdinand, a farmer nearby who runs a company called Ruika Fruit Processors. They produce over 300 kilos of top-quality dried mangoes every day. To do this, they purchased a machine from VIP Technologies that not only dries mangoes, it generates electricity that can be used to power farm machinery, charge batteries, and for lighting at night. It has so many uses. Wow! And here is Farida, our expert from VIP. She's going to take us outside so we can sit down and find out more about this amazing machine. Now, Kioko and Peter.
Yes.
What do you do with your mangoes at home?
My mangoes, it has been a challenge because at times when they are ripe, the prices are down and even sometimes you may be forced to throw away.
Lots of wastage of mangoes when there's a glut in the market. Ferdinand.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Ruika Processors. When did you start?
We started the Ruika Processors as early as 2008. We were drying outside.
Using the sun?
Using the sun. We encountered with a lot of challenges because of weather change. Some other time it rains at the daytime.
Yes.
And at the end, we find we have lost almost everything because, one, we want this mango to retain its true color. Again, we want shelf life to be longer. And again, the taste should be preserved. And when I was using the solar, I could not get to these standards.
So what happens to a mango if it's not dried properly?
It turns black, and once it turns black, the quality is lower. You will not get market for it. And even if you get a market, someone who is willing to take it to mill into flour, they will pay you minimum for that.
That's why we thought of sourcing another facility, and we were introduced to these people, VIP.
And how has it been? Has it worked for you?
Yes, exactly. We used to drive for 8.5 hours up to 10 hours, but now we can do it in 4.5 hours to 6 hours.
Thank you. And this is a final product from the machine.
Exactly.
This wow.
Huh? Peter, what do you think?
It's a good thing.
It looks nice, and I'm sure it tastes as good as well. Tastes good. You see, they have started. They'll finish all the samples. Now, Farida, tell me, what is VIP?
VIP is a company called Village Industrial Power that deals in the manufacture and supply of biomass fueled boilers. Biomass is basically agricultural waste. Like in this farm, they use the mango prunings to fire the machine. You can use macadamia nutshells. You can use sawdust, briquettes. So the engine generates mechanical power. Then the exhaust steam from the engine is what is used now taken to the dryer. The dryer is fitted with a radiator that condenses that exhaust steam to produce hot air. And in the dryer, it is the hot air that actually now does the drying of the mangoes.
What is the importance of drying?
Drying is important because during the mango season, everyone else has a mango in the market, and the mango prices deteriorate so much. Mangoes are perishable. There's just up to a certain period you can keep them. So most of them are thrown away as waste. So if you decide to dry, you could preserve that mango so that you reduce the losses. And again, you can be able to control the market prices. You don't have to be in a hurry to sell to the market when the prices are down there. Yes.
Good.
Do we need an expertise when you are using such a machine?
Anybody can run the machine. You don't need an expertise at all.
Is it available?
Yes, our machines are much available nationwide.
Is the machine affordable, and especially to a small scale farmer?
The machine is very much affordable. What you stand to gain at the end of the period, if you do just 3 seasons a year, you offset the cost of the machine. You could even buy it through SACCO, different farmers, and you come together and you acquire the machine too. Yes.
Wow, so these machines look like a fantastic way to get more money for your mangoes. But I wondered, is drying mangoes the only thing this machine can do?
And this machine produces heat and power. We use the heat for drying. We are drying the vegetables and fruits. And we have the bean dryers where we are now drying the cereals, the grains. We can dry maize, we can dry coffee, we can dry any other grain. And we use the power you can use it for lighting your house, and we can generate up to 10 horsepower. So you can use it for doing any other thing you have in your farm that consumes power. And basically, VIP machine is a business in a box.
Business in a box.
Yes.
That sounds good.
Yes.
A business in a box. And as the cost of buying the machine can be shared through a farmers group, it's a business almost any farmer can start up. So, we've learned about growing good mangoes.
And how to dry the mangoes to make even bigger profits.
But there's still lots of work to be done.
Coming up after the break, dairy nutrition,
Choosing the best maize seed for your area,
and getting rid of pests and diseases in tomatoes.
Welcome back
To Shamba Shape Up.
We are in Embu and you are visiting brothers Peter and Kioko Musyoka,
We've seen how to harvest mangoes.
and how to dry them for maximum profit.
Well, we still got so much to do.
Okay, let's get to work.
Let's go. Our next expert, Kanyi from Coopers, has come to help with the cows. 2 in particular. Peace, who is in calf, and Mercy, a dry cow. But first, let's get some general advice from Kanyi.
I've done my inspection.
And what can you tell us?
I've noted that where we have the feeding troughs, we don't have a roof. When the cow is feeding, the feed is being rained on. So you have effects of aflatoxins, you have the feed getting moldy, you have the feed getting bad. And as you can see, we have a cow here whose tail is up. That tells you that there is something. The roof is a bit too low for the cows, and maybe they could be suffering from the heat stress. So you need to raise that roof so that now we have a very good air ventilation and the air can move very well.
So what else have you observed?
As you can see, we have a difference between the two.
Yes.
When you look at Mercy, you can actually count more than 3 ribs, meaning that cow is missing something. Yeah, and also, she's supposed to be black in color. But if you look at the skin, she has turned to be brownish. That tells you that Mercy is deficient of some minerals, and also she is deficient of some nutrients in the feed. I can see that you are only feeding your cow on fiber, meaning the cow is deficient of proteins, the cow is deficient of vitamins, essential vitamins, and plus other nutrients, and also minerals. So you need to get it right that you have to provide enough feed and balanced feed.
What would you advise Peter to feed the cows on?
We have Kupakula. Kupakula is going to provide proteins to your cows. And this one, Kupakula Advanced, you are going to feed to peas because she is in calf and you are waiting peas to give birth or to calve down. So you provide this. What is this going to do to your calf, to peas? You are going to make sure that peas gets a very good body. That is its body building because this one is protein. And also, you are going to help peas to get that calf that is inside to grow healthy and to grow big, so that when she calves down, you're going to get a very, very, very good calf.
So, Kanye, what you're saying is Kupakula Advanced is for cows that are in calf?
Very good. Kupakula Advanced is for peas. That is all cows that are in calf.
And what about Mercy?
And because Mercy is lactating, you're not going to give Kupakula Advance, but you're going to provide now the protein supplement for lactating cow, which is Kupakula Gold. Mercy is going to enjoy Kupakula because it is a source of bypass protein. We are not going to see the 4 ribs or 5 ribs, but she'll be of very good condition. Also, I believe when you provide a very good protein supplement, Mercy is going also to change the color. And the milk that Mercy is producing, I'm sure that she is going to increase the production.
And I see about the Kupakula, there's something written here about the fortified with yeast metabolites. What does it mean?
Kupakula Gold has been fortified with yeast metabolite to help a cow in digestion. Remember, we need a cow that has very, very good gut health, that is able to digest all the feeds without wastage, without using a lot of energy. That energy should go to milk production.
It's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
So you see, when you have good management of your cows, rest assured that the cows are going to give you maximum yield. And remember, we still have a makeover to do.
Yeah.
So, for cows in calf like peas, supplement farm forage with Kupakula Advanced. For best results, mix 200 grams of Kupakula Advanced into the feed each day. For lactating cows like Mercy, supplement farm forage with Kupakula Gold. Give 200 grams per day. As milk production increases, add extra feed gradually to a maximum of 400 grams every day or until milk production stops increasing. Then stay with that level of feed. It's also a good idea to give a mineral supplement too. So, time to get the cowshed shaped up. We need a roof over the feeding area to prevent the feed getting wet, as this leads to contamination from aflatoxin and other molds. And the sleeping area needs a higher roof to allow increased ventilation, keeping the cows cool and content. All in a day's work for the Shamba Shape Up crew.
Our next expert is Kimani from Seedco. Peter has been doing well with maize, but Seedco has released a new seed variety that Kimani thinks might be an even better choice. Let's see what he has to say. Kioko,
Yes,
what variety did you plant last season?
Duma 43
Duma 43?
Yes.
From Seedco?
from Seedco. To my experience is that Duma 43 is doing very well here, especially this time when the rainfall was not reliable. And that is very good for me.
Duma 43 is a good variety, and I'm happy that you've been planting it because it is highly drought tolerant and it also matures within a very short time.
Yes. So Duma 43 does well in which particular regions?
You can plant it from the lowest part of this area to the medium altitude areas, and by medium altitude areas I mean where they grow coffee.
Mr. Kimani, farmers are complaining about depressed rainfall, Lots of changes in the climate and weather. What is you, as Seedco, doing about it?
Our research department has gone even a step further to look at possibilities of having another variety that can mature even earlier than Duma, and a variety that can tolerate drought even more. We have this variety that we call Sungura 301. Sungura 301 matures within 75 days, and even in some areas, depending with the temperatures, it can mature at around 72 days. If you look at its features, it looks close to Duma. The packaging is more or less the same, but you will notice there is a rabbit that is running, which is Sungura in Swahili, and then it is written SC Sungura 301.
So we have Duma 43 and now we have Sungura 301. How will the farmer be able to choose between the two?
It all depends with the needs of the farmer. If the farmer requires food as fast as possible, the variety to go for is Sungura 301. If you are looking at a lot of production, you would go for Duma 43. So it all depends on your need as of then.
The needs of the farmer.
Yep.
And the farmer is here.
Yes, how much do I expect from 1 acre?
Sungura 301 has a potential of 28 bags per acre.
What about spacing?
Like in such dry areas, from one plant to the other plant, it is supposed to be 30 centimeters, and from row to row, it is 75 centimeters to 90 centimeters, which is 3 feet.
What about the genuine of that seed? How will I know?
Now, we have this sticker that is being provided to us by KEFIS. KEFIS is Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Services. It is the government department in charge of ensuring that the seed that is sold out there is clean and it is a genuine hybrid. You scratch up here, and then there is a number that will be revealed. Then you send that number to the code below, which is written there, 1393, and then you will get a message from us confirming that is Sungura 301 from Seedco. If it is not a genuine product, you'll be told that seed is invalid.
Thank you so much.
Our final expert today is Mugambi from Osho. Kioko is harvesting his tomatoes, but his yield is not as good as it could be. So we want to find out how Osho can help.
How big is this tomato farm?
This is an eighth.
An eighth?
Yes.
All right. How has your harvest been?
For a week, I've been able to harvest 7 crates.
I would say it's below average because with an eighth, every week we need to be doing about 12 crates per week.
So you're 5 crates down?
The main problem is on disease management. Like you can see the tomato look yellow because of the impact of the earlier late blight disease, as well as the infestation of red spider mites.
Let's begin with the pests.
We have the red spider mites. Mostly you find them on the underside of the leaves. If you notice, you see some small spiders, red in color. Also notice that we have the thrips, and they suck the plant sap, and in so doing, they also reduce the yield of your crop. You notice, you start seeing the fruits are looking rough, like someone was scratching them. That's how you see now the effect or the damage caused by the thrips.
So, Mugambi, what solutions do you have for these problems?
Bwana Kioko, for the mites and the thrips, we have a product called Vapcomic, which you can use to target both the thrips and the red spider mites. We still would recommend that we mix with Nibesidine. Is because Nibesidine is broad spectrum, it's able to manage the issue of resistance. It's also able to handle other pests like whiteflies, thrips, and also repel the moth of the tuta absoluta. So with Nibesidine, you are able to cover more than one pest with a single spray. So we recommend you mix Nibesidine plus Vapcomic.
For Nibesidine, pour 60 milliliters into an empty knapsack and fill halfway with water. Then add 10 milliliters of Vapcomic and add the rest of the water, around 20 liters in total.
And which is the correct time to use?
We recommend in the morning when the temperatures are not very high.
Is it going to affect maybe the taste of the tomatoes?
For the farmer, you have to observe what we call the pre-harvest interval. The period you have to wait before you harvest, which is normally 7 days. Then you can take your produce to the market.
So far?
So good.
There you are. So, Mugambi,
yes, please.
Let's talk about the diseases. What are these diseases and what damage do they actually do to the crop?
I did talk of late blight, and this is an example of an affected leaf, whereby you see at the extreme end, you realize the leaves now turn blackish, then they start drying, and once they start drying, you realize the surface area for photosynthesis is affected or is reduced, and once it's reduced, it means less production of the food for the plants. Your crop starts somehow drying early, and also the yield is also affected to the large extent.
So, Mogambi, what solutions do you have for this problem?
You need to be doing regular sprays with a fungicide, mostly called mistress. We say mistress because mistress has two active ingredients in it: prevention bait, and we have curative bait. So it's able to eradicate the disease if already present, like in your case. If you do the mistress spray, it's going to clear the early and late blight problems in your farm.
So, to control early and late blight, place 40 grams of mistress into a knapsack, add 20 liters of water and mix well.
Now, at which interval am I supposed to repeat?
Ordinarily, we recommend 14 days, 10 to 14 days, but in your situation, I would recommend you do it weekly so that we eradicate the disease completely and so that your crop can improve and give you more yields.
So I think we should just now get ready for spraying.
No.
Why?
My expert has told me that I should spray very hard in the morning, all the late evening.
Wow.
Yeah, Kioko seems to have learned something. So,
Mogambi,
yeah.
You're doing a good job.
Sure.
All right. So first thing tomorrow morning,
Yeah.
you'll be spraying.
Yes.
Yeah, you mix your mistress and Vapcomic and you do the spray.
Yeah.
Wow. That was a long day, but very, very successful.
It is good.
All right. What is good about today?
It is good because I've learned several things. So it has been a wonderful time for me.
For me, I've learned that I should not get my roses in the Shamba. So there is a lot of improvement in my Shamba for the next season.
The shade, I really like it the way it is now. There's a big difference.
So Tony, our work here is done.
Oh, yes. And I will see you in the next Shamba.
Thank you.